Have you ever felt that? That feeling where no matter what you accomplish, the finish line just moves further away? Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we are diving deep into Chapter 3 of Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money. We're going to talk about a really dangerous trap, the trap of never enough, a mindset that can and does lead even the most successful people straight to ruin. So let's just start with the big question, right? It doesn't make any sense on the surface. Why would somebody who has everything, I mean everything you could possibly want, risk it all? Just for a little bit more? This one question, seriously, it unlocks one of the most powerful and destructive forces in our entire financial lives. To really get a grip on how powerful this trap is, just talking about theories won't cut it. We need a real story. And, well, unfortunately, there is no story more powerful, or frankly more tragic, than the real-life example of a man named Rajat Gupta. I mean, just take a second and look at this journey. From being an orphan in Calcutta all the way to becoming the CEO of McKinsey, the most prestigious consulting firm on the planet. This is literally the definition of a success story. But that desire for more, for something beyond what he already had, didn't just tarnish his legacy, it completely destroyed it. His story didn't end in a fancy corner office. It ended in a prison cell. And this right here, this just captures the complete absurdity of it all. He had $100 million. Let that sink in. But it wasn't enough. He was playing a game he had already won. But that relentless need for more just blinded him. It was that inability to find the off switch that ended up costing him absolutely everything.
So, what's going on here? What's the psychological tripwire that causes this? Well, Housel argues that it's all about mastering what he calls the single hardest financial skill, learning how to get the goalpost to just stop moving. Think about it. The second we hit a goal, our brain almost automatically sets a new one that's even higher. It's a totally natural thing to do, but it's also incredibly dangerous.
And here's how that spirals into a really dangerous cycle. First, you hit a financial goal. Awesome. But that taste of success, it doesn't bring satisfaction. Nope. It brings an even bigger appetite for more. So boom, the goalpost moves. And all of a sudden, even though you've made progress, the new target is so far away that you actually feel like you're falling behind. And that feeling is what pushes people to take bigger and often really foolish risks. Okay, so if moving our own goalposts is the internal pressure driving all this, what about the external force? Well, it's something we all deal with every single day, the completely unwinnable and honestly poisonous game of social comparison. The truth here is so simple, but it is so profound. It doesn't matter how successful you are, how much you have, or how big a fish you become, there is always a bigger fish in the sea. It's a game without a finish line, and if you choose to play it, you're guaranteed to never ever feel like you've actually won. Just to put this in perspective, think about a top baseball player making $25 million a year. By any sane measure, that person is incredibly wealthy, right? But the second you start comparing, you're going to find a taller stack of coins. Jeff Bezos' wealth grew so much in 2018 that he was making more per hour than that player made all year. The ceiling for social comparison is so high it's basically in outer space. Trying to reach it is just a guaranteed recipe for feeling like you're not enough. The author shares this brilliant piece of wisdom he got from a casino dealer, and it just applies so perfectly to social comparison. What's the only way to win? Refuse to play the game. Just turn around and walk right out the door. All right, so if our own ambition is constantly moving the goalposts and comparing ourselves to others is a trap, what's the antidote? What's the solution? Well, it all comes down to a single, unbelievably powerful concept. And that brings us to one of the best anecdotes in the entire book. Picture this. You've got two literary giants, Kurt Vonnegut and Joseph Heller, at a party hosted by a billionaire. Vonnegut points out that their host made more money in a single day than Heller's masterpiece, Catch-22, had earned in its entire history. I mean, that's the ultimate social comparison setup right there. And Heller's response is just perfect. One word that completely changes the game. Enough. Joseph Heller understood something that the billionaire, and for that matter, Rajat Gupta, never could. He had something way more valuable than money. He had a sense of satisfaction. He had a finish line. Now, this is a really important point. Enough doesn't mean you're lazy or that you're settling. It's actually the opposite. It is the deep, intelligent recognition that an insatiable hunger for more is a path that almost always leads to a place of deep regret. And this is exactly why defining enough for yourself is so important.
You have to think of it like a defensive skill. See, most people only find their limit after they've already crossed it and fallen off the cliff. Knowing your personal enough point is like the guardrail that keeps you from taking that one risk too many.
And all of this brings us to the ultimate reason for finding your enough. And here's the secret. It's not really about the money at all. It's about protecting the things in your life that are truly, truly invaluable.
Just look at this list for a second. Your reputation, your freedom and your independence, your family and your friends, being loved by the people you want to love you, your happiness. These are the real pillars of a well-lived life. And they are all so fragile. An unchecked appetite for more is the fastest way to shatter every single one of them. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway from this whole chapter. The skill of knowing when to stop, of defining what enough means for you, that's not just a financial strategy. It's a life strategy. It's the shield that protects everything that actually matters from the dangers of greed and ambition.
So we're going to leave you with this question. And forget about a specific number for a minute. What is your personal definition of enough? What amount of wealth gives you the freedom you actually want without putting your reputation, your relationships, and your happiness at risk? Seriously, answering that question for yourself is the first and most important step to escaping the trap of never enough.